I would like to express my appreciation and admiration for Eritrea Focus for bringing such important people at a very critical time to discuss such an issue of, as you said, what happens. The persons, the government, the institutions that were put by this person are gone or are going. So what happens? I have a very difficult task here, at least one of them, and that is to read Haile Menkerios' message, because I cannot do justice to Haile with all his experience, and not only in sending something, but also in kind of question and answer with Haile. It would have been fantastic. I met Haile in February in Nairobi, and that 1 hour discussion what we had about Eritrea, about the region, and of course beyond, was fascinating. So that is a very difficult task. Fortunately, I'm also allowed to build on it, to also give my opinion on what Haile started, because I also would like to be loyal to his input, but still also have my input, what I think is where we are, where we can go, and how we should be going. So this small 2 pages is really, a message of solidarity, rather than, with certain, key messages. So this is Haile calls it message of apology to the organizers. Dear organizers and participants in the Conference on Democracy in Eritrea, let me start by expressing regret for my inability to participate in this conference. It is indeed timely to discuss the need for building democracy in Eritrea, a country which has the notoriety of being perhaps the only country in Africa that does not have a functioning constitution, a legitimate or elected government, or legitimate and functioning government institutions that ensure accountability. Generally speaking, other liberation movements that won independence or liberation through armed struggle have also established one-party dictatorships with varying degrees of accountability to the general public. A key characteristic of the political parties that were established by these former liberation movements is that they control the army, the police, the justice system, institutions, and it was these institutions that also became institutions of state. The distinction between institutions of the party, government, and state disappear. It's the same with Eritrea. In such countries, building democracy with public institutions independent of direct control of political parties is an outcome, yet that is not normal. In this, Eritrea is perhaps unique only in degrees. Eritrea's particular history and experience of decolonization has contributed to the unique nature of governance that has been established in Eritrea, a one-man rather than a one-party dictatorship. The basis for this was, in Haile's opinion, the nature of the struggle we had to wage, a struggle against a much bigger and stronger Ethiopia, supported by African countries, by the West, by the East, a peculiar characteristic. The enemy we had to fight was so formidable that getting rid of it consumed the major part of our energy. And we, when Haile says we, he's talking about the fighters, the EPLF combatants, did not exert much effort to adequately plan and prepare for what and how to build once the enemy was defeated. Indeed, we built a very efficient fighting machine in the EPLF with absolute discipline and hierarchical system as an effective military. Despite the prevailing rhetoric during the struggle, the APLF did not encourage debate and discussion to develop concrete ideas about our future after independence and establish institutions or safeguards to ensure their implementation. What was our strength as a collective, as a coherent body, became our weakness after independence. For better or for worse, those of us who participated in the rhetoric, in the heroic struggle of the Eritrean people for independence, contributed to the development of the dictatorship we are now. So I'll just kind of finish Haile's paper, because Haile makes a couple of important points. One is because we're consumed with the military aspect of the struggle, because we're fighting a mighty enemy, we do not adequately prepare for after independence or for independence. Secondly, Haile suggests that in thinking about how to move forward, we consider going back to what we could and should have done in 1991, immediately after independence. That is, call for a national conference of representatives of the Eritrean people that would decide on a transitional arrangement to ensure an inclusive process of building participatory democracy in the country. I believe, Haile says, only such a process can prevent violence. Then Haile says, I wish you success in your discussions to contribute to democratization in Eritrea. So basically, this is Haile's message. As I said, Haile should have been here, because nobody can really replace Haile by reading a 1.5 page message. The other, yeah.